Welcome to Season 2 of Coming Home to Ourselves, where we aim to bridge the gap between the sacred and modern day responsibilities, barriers, and life. I am Denise Alyssa, your host, channel, mystic, and guide, and I aim to empower you to become your own self healer and an embodied co creator of your life, supporting you in shedding what no longer serves and aligning you with your most authentic and connected version of self. Please note that I am not a medical professional and nothing said in this podcast should be misconstrued as medical advice or replacement of such. If you'd like to know more about my background, training, or the workshops, ceremonies, or other work I offer, please visit www.denisealyssa.com. Hello, friends. I hope you're all doing well. Today is going to be a bit of a shorter episode, I hope. We're going to talk about the autumn equinox coming up in a few weeks, and it's just a solo episode like I do for all of the equinoxes and the solstices, and we'll be back with guests next month. So, just tuning into what wants to come through today and feeling my feet on the floor, and you can join me in that as I land in my body. The equinoxes happen twice a year, as many of you know, especially if you've already listened to my Spring Equinox 2025 episode. So they happen in the spring and the autumn. So these are celebrations in the wheel of the year at the points where night and day become almost equal around the world. So that's with approximately 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness per day. So this year in 2025 in the Northern Hemisphere, autumn equinox is going to fall on September 22nd. Some of the themes that we see around the autumn equinox showing up in our lives or showing up in our celebrations, showing up in nature are harvest. What are you harvesting in your life right now? What has come to fruition that you are starting to really see show up in the physical? We are at a time of celebrating the earth and its abundance. It's this beautiful time to pause and reflect and enjoy what nature has brought to us this season. It's a time to give gratitude for what the earth has given us and our connection to it. It's also a time of tuning into balance. What's in balance in our lives and what may be out of balance in our lives. With this time of 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness, it's not hard to see that reflected back to us, that balance. I also think of it often as a time of letting go. If we are watching the seasons change and really connecting to the earth around us at this time, we will start to notice how the trees begin to drop their leaves and how nature shows us how important it is to let go of the things that no longer serve us, to let go of the things that have come full circle in our lives and have done what they were here to do, and now it's time to let them go. And when we let them go, we create this space so that in the seasons to come in our lives, in our bodies, in nature, we are able to grow new, right? This is also a season of transitioning from summer into winter. So it is kind of that sacred pause, that moment between all of the brightness, all of the light, and then we are about to head into the darkness of winter. So we are in a time of preparation for that. So this is a really beautiful time to take some inventory in our lives, and I think that we'll get to that a little bit later. What I would like to do is pull some cards for you on just some autumn equinox messages and just see what wants to come through there. And after that, we'll go into just a moment of taking inventory of our lives and see what wants to come through. I hope to have an autumn equinox ceremony ready for you guys on the website before autumn equinox hits. Or there's also, I'm sitting with the idea of maybe doing it live this year instead of pre-recorded, but I'm also in the middle of taking a very intensive somatics reconditioning practitioner course certification. So my energy envelope, my focus, my spoons are all being kind of channeled into this new certification, this expanding of my education right now. So I'm going to leave this ceremony up to divine timing, up to my body. I'm just going to see what shows up in my life in the weeks leading up to the autumn equinox and see if that's something that seems aligned to pull off. It's definitely something that is, pulling at my heartstrings and coming to me and landing in my body, these intuitive hits and these downloads of what I would like to share with you through that ceremony. So I have a feeling it will come, but I'm leaving space. I'm leaving space open right now to just see what shows up for me throughout this course, to really hold space for myself as I deepen into this somatics course. A lot of it is doing that deep inner work within myself first so that I can later show up for you and show up for my clients and my guests and my friends and my family, and to be able to offer this work in a really honorable and embodied way. And in order to do that, I have to really dive deep within my own self, my own system, and allow space for what is being shown to me there to really be honored and recognized and healed or integrated or shifted in whatever way it's asking for at that time. So, as any of you know who have done this inner work, that takes a lot of extra space in our lives and time and energy and capacity to be able to do that. So that's why I'm just leaving that piece up in the air. I'm not planning it quite as tightly as I normally would. And hopefully it comes to fruition. But I'm just going to really leave that space open and see how it goes. So let's get into the cards. As usual, I will cut out the time of me finding my cards and shuffling and all of that for you, for the listeners, because I know that that is not as fun to listen to. Let's just see what messages are asking to come through for you, for the collective who are listening to this today for the autumn equinox of 2025. I have a couple decks jumping out at me here. I have the Enchanted Map by Colette Baron Reed. This is kind of a unique deck. I also have the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Denise Lynn jumping out at me. So we have a bit of a theme here today. Spirit, for the highest and best of everyone involved, what messages do you have for the collective of listeners here today for the Autumn Equinox 2025? Thank you. So many of you are going through a time of deep transformation and metamorphosis. You may be just entering your cocoon phase, or you may be just coming out of your cocoon phase. So take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind, as always. But anytime we enter this deep sacred period of metamorphosis, we know that when we come out on the other side, we are not going to be the same. And that requires us to leave behind some of what we knew, some of what we thought we were, some of these ideas and beliefs about ourselves and about the world, about the people around us. We have to leave those behind before we can fully step into and embody our next phase of life, our next way of being, the way that we are really meant to show up in the world at this time. So that can feel like a really challenging period if we are not feeling ready to let go of those things. That can bring in some pretty big storms, some big tower moments into our lives if we are grasping, if we are still challenging ourselves to hold on to what no longer serves us or to what is clearly ready to be let go of. So take a moment with yourself and just reflect on that. What have you been holding on to that is not meant to come with you to this next phase of life? And when you are able to drop that attachment to, I'm seeing an image of like dropping the reins, when you're able to just let that go and then let it do what it's going to do, right? Letting go doesn't mean that that thing necessarily leaves. It means that we have dropped our attachment to it. It means that we have detached from outcome and we have surrendered, and we are letting whatever that is that we were holding on to take its own course, do its own thing. And maybe that means that it stays with us in some way or another, but it means that we are not the one controlling that or grasping at that. That gives that other thing space to be able to do whatever it is that it is meant to do in its life. So whether that's a person, a place, an event, an idea, a way of being, whatever that may be, when we drop that rein and we let go of control, that thing or person is able to go and do whatever it is that they need to do on this next step of their journey and transform in the ways that they need to transform, which allows us to do the same for ourselves. And maybe we come back together later, maybe we don't. Okay. So while you are in this process, these cards are reminding you to really hold yourself, to really nurture yourself in your own sacred space, in your own energy body, so that you can be held throughout this transitional phase in your life. And as you do that, things are going to start to come up within your body and be shown to you. And as they do, I want you to make space for them, to hold them, to nurture them, to get to know them. So as you notice these things coming alive in your system, be with them, and just with like a sense of curiosity, and see what starts to come up for you and what starts to be shown to you that is ready to shift or to heal or to transform with you. When you are able to hold yourself in that safe and sacred container and allow those emotions or those ways of being or whatever it is that is trying to show up in your system to show up and to be there, they will have messages for you. They will begin to transform on their own. When we drop the resistance to feeling whatever it is that is asking to be felt in our bodies, to noticing whatever is asking to be seen or to show up for us at this time, when we drop that resistance, miracles start to happen. Those things start to shift, to transform, to come alive, to, you know, maybe they are something that are less pleasant and then they end up kind of putting themselves to bed, right? They just want to be seen and to be acknowledged and to be felt. So as you are in this cocoon, as you are in this transformational phase of your life, please hold space for yourself for whatever is coming up for you to be there. Just allow it to be there if you can do that in a safe way. And, you know, recognizing that not everybody is able to do that yet in a safe way. And then maybe you need a practitioner or some kind of professional to support you in holding that in a safe way. And that's okay too. So know what you need and recognize that, and then take the steps towards it so that these things that are coming alive in your system have the space to do so. Beautiful. I'm really excited to see what transformations happen for some of you guys. So if you are listening and this aligns for you, please leave me some comments, and let me know like what's showing up in your life, and what is coming alive in your system, and where are some of these messages landing for you, or do you already kind of know where you're going? Because often you already have this like sense, this intuitive sense of where your life will be on the other side of this transformation. And I would just love to hear what that is for you. Okay, I'm bringing out the other deck. Spirit, for the highest and best of our listeners and the collective here today, what do you have for the autumn equinox to add to this reading? What would you like to add today? Okay, so some of you are going to be entering unknown territory throughout this transformational phase. Maybe this is your first time kind of coming online in this way to really witness yourself through this transformation. A lot of the time before we've really awoken or become conscious to these inner processes, we are going through the motions, but we're not recognizing the ceremony within that. Maybe we are viewing our cocoon phase as depression or lack of motivation, or maybe we are seeing our tower moments as just like raw chaos in our lives without being able to piece those things together and to witness the ceremony that is our lives, right? So we're talking about autumn equinox. There's lots of ceremonies around autumn equinox and both equinoxes and the solstices, but your whole life is a ceremony. You are the container, right? So remember that. And if this is your first time kind of being with yourself in this new way throughout this transformation, just know that you are exactly where you need to be right now. And there's nothing that you need to do or to change besides maybe just pausing and allowing yourself to witness what is coming up alive within you, what is happening around you, but also noticing this cycle within your own life. Just like the seasons, we are cyclical beings. And so, if you can begin to be with this transformation within you and to notice these cycles within your own life, notice the patterns, you can start to show up for yourself in a very, very different way. And not only that, you can start to experience these cycles in your life in a very, very different way. Suddenly, instead of experiencing them as, say, depression or lack of motivation or shaming yourself, you might be able to see yourself for the time that you are really in, which is this cocoon phase. Again, take what resonates for you and leave the rest behind. This is a collective reading, so some messages are going to speak clearer to some people than others. And as you're really navigating this new path that you're on, tread thoughtfully. Don't be afraid to go slow. There's no need to rush this. We often, as a human species in the society that we are in right now, we have a hard time slowing down. We can feel like we really have to keep up the pace and that we're never going fast enough. And we never even get a chance to acknowledge where we've landed before we head up to the next goal or the next step. So don't be afraid to slow down. Don't be afraid to go slow. I know my teacher, Ryan Rose Evans, who's teaching my somatics course right now, he always says, slow is fast and fast is slow. And in this way, that really is true. So don't be afraid to just slow it down, to land in your body, and to really attune to your own self, and then take your steps from there. Because when we are going everywhere really quickly, we often misstep and we take the wrong path because we haven't had the time to tune into ourselves and to really connect with what it is that our intuition or our bodies are asking for at this time. When we are able to slow down and to really be with ourselves in that new way, our intuition comes online. And then we just know the steps to take. We know which road to go. And we get to reserve our energy for when it really is time to take those action steps. So suddenly rest becomes productive because now we are reserving our resources because we know it's not time to go yet. And then when it is time to go, we get that hit and we know what steps to take. And then we have the energy to do so typically because we have been going slow. We have slowed down. We have been reserving that energy for that time because our intuition and our bodies are always guiding us there. And when we really get to go into the depths of ourselves when we are in this cocoon phase, there's so much treasure under there. Okay. You can never be with someone else to a depth that you have not gone within yourself. So just sit with that for a moment. You can never go with someone else to a depth that you have not gone to for yourself. So, how deep have you gone for yourself? And are you trying to support others through depths that you have never encountered on your own? And that's not to say that those depths are not within you. It's just that some of us don't go there. So this is your invitation during this cocoon phase. Don't bypass this, right? Don't bypass this. Take this opportunity to dive deep within yourself and to really get to know those deep layers of yourself in a new way, because you are going to come out with so much treasure. So much good stuff lives in those depths within you. And I'm not saying that you have to spend all of your time there. Definitely come up for air. And like I said earlier, if you are not yet equipped to go there within yourself safely, then please do find somebody, a practitioner or somebody else that can hold you through that. So make sure that you are doing this in a way that is safe for you, and you are the only person who is going to know what that is. When you do this, when you can really slow down and be with yourself in that way, you just enter the flow, because like I said, your intuition comes online, your body comes online, you have opportunities to heal your neuroception. Your neuroception is like, have you ever walked into a room and you just know that there's like something off in that space? Or you come across you meet somebody and you just know that maybe you should cross the road, if you're walking, or you just know that this person is like not somebody that is safe for you or that you should get alone with. So that's your neuroception that is picking up on these cues all the time. And this is your subconscious that is running this. This is your nervous system that is running this. It's not something that you are consciously doing, and it's happening all the time for you on your behalf. But when we are somebody who has experienced trauma or grew up in kind of an unsafe childhood or anything like that, then that can really mess with our neuroception, because now what our bodies perceive as safe is not always accurate. It's not always true safety. And so as we slow it down and we really get to know ourselves in this way, and we allow these things to come up within our bodies and to be acknowledged, we start to heal. And as we start to heal, we start to heal that neuroception as well. And so between neuroception and your intuition and really slowing down and getting in touch with yourself in this way, we enter the flow in a new and different way. Because you can imagine if your neuroception is off because your body senses safety in unsafe situations because that's what it's used to, then you're going to continue to feel safe in those unsafe situations because that's what it's used to. And so then where does that lead you, right? We want to get our bodies, our intuitions, our souls back online and back aligned together, our nervous system included in that, so that all of these things can be guiding us to where we're really meant to be. And that just opens up so many doors. It keeps us safe in brand new ways that we may have never experienced before. And it helps us to enter the flow in a totally new way. And if you have been in the flow before, you know that that is the best place to be. You just land where you're meant to be at the right time, in the right place, in the right way. The right conversations come up that are meant to happen, doors open for you. And that's not to say that life is like totally smooth sailing, but you develop a new capacity to be with what is, and that completely transforms your experience of your life and of this world and of the situations that you end up in. So I want to see if there's any other cards that would like to come through. I have the Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors. I love this deck. I'm going to get a little bit more specific with this card reading now. So what I'm going to ask is Spirit, for the highest and best of everyone involved, for the collective listening to this reading at this time, for the autumn equinox, what do you want them to pay attention to at this time, and what action steps do you have for them at this time, for the highest and best of everyone involved? So as you move through this time with grace in your movement and action if you can. And you can call on divine support to ask for their help in that. If you are not typically that graceful of a person, you could say, Spirit, for my highest and best and the highest and best of everyone involved, please support me in moving and taking action with grace throughout this season. Again, this leans into the slow is fast and fast is slow. So really be aware of, where are you taking action from? Are you taking action from a grounded and centered, embodied place? Or are you taking action from like chaos, fear, a lack of embodiment, a lack of groundedness, kind of flighty? And if you're to sit with that, what direction do you think your action steps are going to go if you're taking them from a really ungrounded, unembodied, disembodied place versus from a really grounded place, right? That's going to be a very different experience, and those action steps are going to take you in a very different direction, have a very different frequency about them. So remember that we are heading into winter. This is the transitional season into those darker days. And so, what do you need to do to prepare for that for yourself? What do you need to do to align yourself with this energy? What is it that you would really like to let go of at this time that you don't want to take into hibernation with you? So, when we head into winter, that is typically a time of hibernation, of quiet, of darkness. And if you think of that season as your hibernation period and that you're going to come out in the spring anew, what do you need to leave behind now that you don't want to carry with you until the spring, that doesn't serve the seeds you're going to plant in the spring, right? What ways of being or thoughts or people or places just are not going to serve you 6 months from now? Maybe it's time to let them go. This can be hard when we are really attached to certain people, places, things, ways of being, ideas, thoughts about ourselves, limiting beliefs, whatever it may be. But if you can sit in meditation and see this from a higher perspective and try to take a bird's eye view on your life right now, and then see it 6 months from now where you want to be, if you are visualizing where you'd like to be in the spring. From this bird's eye view, what is it that you are carrying or believing or, attached to that simply is not going to serve you come the spring? And then that's your action step to let go of those things. And you can let go of them gracefully. It doesn't have to be traumatizing. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be mean or unkind. You can take that action with grace and with kindness and with love, both for yourself and for this other thing. You can give gratitude for what it has given you and how it has served you for all of this time, and honor the fact that it is time to let it go. Okay, so I'm going to put these away. So, sitting with that information, let's tune into our bodies now and let's just see what comes up for us. I'm going to guide you through a few inventory type soul inquiry questions. You can do this with a pen and paper, with your intuitive writing practices. You can just sit here with me. I'm going to lead you through it fairly quickly, so you may want to pause this and sit with it for longer. Do whatever serves you. But let's just take a little bit of soul inquiry type inventory on where we've been, where we're headed, and what this season wants us to know. So you may wish to rub the palms of your hands together, connecting with the energy centers there. You may like to place a hand on your heart or on your belly, feeling your feet on the floor, your sit bones on the chair or bed beneath you. Of course, if you are driving or you are cooking while you're listening to this, whatever it is that you're doing, do this in the way that serves you. You can absolutely do this while you are driving or while you are in the middle of, your chores, but just make sure that you're doing this in a safe way for whatever activity it is that you're in at this time. So, Wherever you are, just allowing yourself to land in your body a little further, noticing the sensations that you can feel. So, whether that's your feet on the floor or your sit bones on a chair or on the seat of your car, whether that's, the chopping knife in your hand as you make dinner or the vacuum pulling on your arm as you clean, whatever it is that you are doing, noticing those sensations in your body. We are just inviting ourselves to reconnect with our body, for some of you in a very new and different way, so take your time with it. Allowing your breath to be however it is. There's no need to change anything at this time. Simply allow what is to be exactly as it is. Now, I want you to picture your life 6 months ago at the spring equinox. What did it look like? What did it feel like? What projects were you working on at that time? Who were you spending your time with? What were you spending your time doing? How did it feel in your body during that season? And now I want you to think about where you are now. What of those things have come with you to this autumn equinox time? What of those things from spring got lost somewhere along the way? Which of those things would you like to pick up again? And which of them maybe are you still holding on to that no longer serves you? Again, this is a practice of taking inventory without judgment. We are not looking to shame ourselves for still holding on to something that we maybe should have let go of a long time ago. This is about just receiving the data, and from there, we can sit with it. We can decide what to do with it moving forward. We can invite in universal support and protection and divine intervention. So, what have you been working towards in your life over the past 6 months since that spring equinox? What has come to fruition in your life and is ready to be harvested at this time? What are you seeing show up physically in your life at this time that you maybe have been working so hard towards? Really allowing that gratitude to fill your body. Gratitude is such a crucial piece of manifestation. It's also such a crucial piece of just shifting our experience of our lives and how much suffering we endure. There is a gratitude immersion workshop on my website available now if you are not familiar with gratitude practices or you don't have a solid gratitude practice in your life at this time. But really just sensing into that sense of gratitude for anything that you are seeing come to fruition at this time, showing up in the physical of your life. And now, what may you still be holding on to that is no longer serving you? Maybe you've been holding on to it for a very long time now. Maybe you just picked it up. Either way, what is showing up for you? What's coming alive in your system to show you that it is time to let go of? If you think of your life as a container, and inside of that container is you, it's your ways of being, it's your life, it's your limiting beliefs, it's all of your thoughts, it's your friends, your family, your hobbies, your job, your everything that you do is in this container. Well, that container becomes quite full. And so there's no space for the new things to land if we never let go of some of the stuff that we are holding. And as we let go of some of those things and we remove them from this energetic container that is our lives, we create this space for the new to land. So we are evolving creatures, right? As we evolve, some of these things that have been in our containers for maybe a very long time, maybe they even felt really important and really served us for a long time or for a period of time. But they're not aligned with who we are now necessarily. So, this is a time to take that sacred pause and to tune into that and take that inventory of what is still in my life just because it's always been there, just because it's all I know, or just because I think I'm supposed to keep carrying it. What is no longer aligned with who I am now and with who I want to be 6 months from now? And those are the things that it is time to start clearing out of that energetic container. And when you do, that creates the space for what is vibrating in the frequency of who you are now and where you're going to begin to land in that space of your life. So, this is a really important practice to continually do, a few times a year. Sometimes it's nice to do it quarterly at the equinoxes and the solstices, but I also love to do a smaller version of it at every full moon, where we're slowly clearing out a little bit at a time and we're creating that space for this new to land. And we want to give gratitude for all that thing served us for the time that it did. But then we get to let go with love, with respect, with honoring of the process, both for it and for ourselves. How is this showing up in your body? How is this feeling to you? Just taking notice of whatever that is, whatever comes up for you. So, this autumn equinox, I really invite you to take this sacred pause to be with yourself, to really deepen into this cocoon, this transformational phase that you are in right now, that according to the cards, it sounds like a lot of you are in. And to really take inventory of your life and what you want to bring with you when you head into the hibernation of winter. So, like I said earlier, I hope to have a ceremony available to you. Whether I do that live or pre recorded through my website, I'm not sure, but please feel free to hit me up for information on that if you can't find it on the website. If you are interested in having a live version, please send me an email and let me know, and I will just see what I can come up with. Not come up with, it's all downloaded really already into my system, but I'll see what I can find time and energy and capacity for, because I would really love to hold that space for you and for myself. And I love these ceremonies. They go so much deeper than these podcasts could ever go. And I just love holding that space for you and with you. So do let me know if you are hoping for a live version. If you're hoping for a pre-recorded version, you can let me know that too. That might, send me the signs that I need to move forward with it. But again, I'm kind of leaving this up to divine timing, divine intervention, and to my body as I move deeper into this somatic reconditioning practitioner certificate program that I'm really putting all of myself into at this time. So thank you for being here with me today. This is a shorter episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it aligned for you. Please let me know how it lands. And again, we will be back next month with a special guest, and she really specializes in the cyclical nature of things as well. So I'm excited to release her episode the first Sunday in October. I think that's like the perfect divine time alignment to share all of her gifts with you with this seasonal shift. Thank you. As always, I am trusting you to take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Please be sure to hydrate and care for yourself well, as any of the energetic transmissions, meditations, or self-healing prompts integrate into your system in the coming days or weeks. As with all the work that I do, I ask that this aligns for the highest and best of everyone involved, and I trust that you will only receive that which is in true alignment for you at this time. If this resonated with you, I invite you to consider giving back through your likes, ratings, comments, shares, or subscribes, as those help so much on these platforms. If you're ready to go deeper than what these platforms can provide, I offer ceremonies, workshops, guided practices, and more at www.denisealyssa.com. I look forward to connecting with you there.